Ayan. To officially open this collaborative event between the Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants of Palawan State University and Holy Trinity University, we now welcome the President of PSU-JPIA, Mr. Peter Christian G. Tabinga, for his message. Unfortunately, he cannot be present at this moment due to technical difficulties and, of course, the brownout. Okay, so allow me to read his message. To our guests, students, faculty, and fellow JPians, good afternoon. I am Peter Christian G. Tabinga, PAL SU JPIA President, and it is a huge honor for me to officially welcome all of you to this event. Kung yung host natin kanina ay excited, I hope sana kayo guys ay more than excited. Because today, we are making history as the JPIA PSU HTU conducts its very first ever free webinar. Big shout out to everyone who attended today's webinar. Thank you for making this a huge success. Alam natin, bilang mga future accountant, hindi pwedeng hihinto tayo sa pag-aaral. The accounting world is always changing, always upgrading. Kaya naman, we really put in the highly technical and something that we need to master. Updates in IFRS 18 and 19. And this webinar is a proof that even in a digital setting, the JPS spirit of academic excellence remains strong. A big thank you to everyone who made this event possible, to the JPA officers, to our advisors, and of course, to our highly distinguished research speaker, Sir Reynaldo Arcampo. Sir, we are genuinely honored to have you share your expertise with us. We know that we'll learn so much from you today. And to all our participants, thank you for investing your time and effort with us. I hope you take down notes, ask questions later, and really absorb all the learning. With that, we can start. Once again, a warm sa maulang panahon and official welcome to our first JPA free webinar. Thank you and enjoy this afternoon.
Thank you, Althea, and thank you, Mr. Tabinga, for that warm welcome. So, indeed, this partnership reminds us that learning knows no boundaries, especially when it comes to keeping up the world of accounting standards. Okay, now that we've been officially welcomed and it's time to introduce the person we've been waiting for. So the brilliant mind who will guide us through today's discussion on updates on IFRS and PFRS.
Yes, that's true, partner. This afternoon's speaker is not only a respected professional in the field of accountancy, but also someone whose achievements continue to inspire students, educators, and practitioners alike.
He placed third in the October 1999 CPA licensure examination, a truly remarkable feat that reflects his dedication and excellence.
Currently, he serves as the review director at Professional Review and Training Center and a faculty member at Far Eastern University, where he continues to mold and mentor future CPAs.
He is also the author of Intermediate Accounting Volumes 1 to 3 and a reviewer in Auditing Problems. These are the resources that many accounting students across the country rely on to deepen their understanding of the profession.
He once served as the president of the National Association of Certified Public Accountants in Education and has held distinguished roles as a former senior associate at SGV and an examiner at the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas.
Truly, his passion for accounting and education goes beyond numbers. It's about shaping minds and inspiring future professionals like us.
Ayan, wala nang patumpik-tumpik pa. Without further ado, let's all welcome, virtually but wholeheartedly, our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Reynaldo Arcampo, CPA.
Okay, class. Ayan. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Althea and Clarence. Thank you, Sir Aris, for this opportunity to meet. Palsu palang tawag nun, di na PSU. Ayan. So, Palsu and HTU, okay, students. Okay, so let me share my screen. Ayan. Okay, so unfortunately, nagkaroon pa rin ng brownout. So okay lang yan. So alam mo naman tayong mga accountants, marunong mag-adjust. Ayan, so kaya nakapag-adjust. Okay, so nag-switch to I think data, no? So malakas kumain ng data itong Zoom. So hopefully matapos natin itong webinar or sana magkaroon na ng power uli, no? So kaya as soon as possible para back to ano tayo. Okay, back to the regular power. Okay, so anyway, this is updates in IFRS. So particularly, we'll discuss IFRS 18 and 19. But before that, in ang chat box. Baka mamaya, mga names lang ang nakikita ko dyan. Ayan. Okay, so ito yung aking 3 hashtags challenge. Okay, so put in the chat box. Ilagay mo na dyan. Hashtag BSA graduate. So I understand mayroong fourth year, mayroong third year, parang may second year pa yata. So kaya ilagay mo dyan ang appropriate year. So will you graduate next year? Lagay mo 2026. Okay, 2027 or 2028. Sige, lagay mo na yan. I-manifest natin yan. So BSA graduate 2026, 27 or 28. I understand, meron ding mga BSMA. Ay, lagay mo na din. So, BSMA. Yan, graduate. Yan, lagay mo yung year. Okay. Ayan, gumagalaw na ang ating chat box. Yan, thank you. Okay. Oh, may mga gagraduate pala ng 2025. Okay. So, silang mauuna. Okay. After that, our second hashtag. Okay. Siyempre, pag graduate mo ng BSA, magbo-board exam ka. Kaya ilagay natin dyan, CPA. Okay, ilagay natin yung year. So I understand, marami yatang kukuha ng 2027. Okay, pero yung iba mukhang 2026. Ayan. Oh, ito meron ding 2025. Ayan. So mostly yata, sabi ni Sir Aris, kasi yung fourth year, gagraduate ng ano ng May or July. So although yung iba tumutuloy ng October yan, pero mostly May. So most likely yan, May 2027. Yan. Okay? Yung mga BSMA, lagay ninyo. CMA naman. Ayan. So, CMA. Yung mga BSA, pwede rin kayong mag-CMA. Kaya pwede mong dalawa ilagay mo. Okay? CPA, CMA. Tapos lagay mo yung year. Ayan. Pwedeng parehong year. Ayan. And then, eventually, syempre, kailangan kumita ng pera. Okay? Gainfully employed. Ayan. Okay? Lagay natin yung year. So, usually yan, immediately after passing the board. Yan. So, I suggest pagka-graduate mo, hanggat maaari, wag ka muna mag-work. Okay? So, mahirap yung mag-work ka muna tapos saka ka mag-exam. So, unli na yung work mo pagkatapos mong maging CPA. Kaya tuloy-tuloy mo lang muna. Okay? So, pagka-graduate mo, review ka, okay, take the board, then saka ka na magtrabaho. Okay, kung kaya ha. So, kasi iba, magtatrabaho muna, bago magbo-board exam. So mahirap 'yun kasi baka magba-back to zero kay sayang yung momentum. So kaya ako nga hangga't maaari mag-graduate ka ng May, kung kaya naman mag-take ka na ng October. Yan. Okay? So ayan ha. So ayan, i-manifest na natin yan. Yung mga hashtags natin na yan. Pero take note, hindi enough ang kaka-manifest, kaka-post mo. Manifesting, CPA QT, grad BSA, graduate. So hindi natin ma-achieve yan kung puro manifest lang. So kaya we need to work on that, ha? Okay? So itong napasukan yung course, medyo talaga mabigat ito. Okay? Pero congratulations sa mga nasa fourth year na. So ibig sabihin, nalampasan na ninyo ang maraming pagsubok simula ng first year, second year, third year. So yung mga nasa second year pa, marami pa kayong pagdadaanan. So pero hopefully matapos niyo tong course na to kasi very in demand. Okay, itong kahit na hindi actually CPA, basta BSA graduate, BSMA graduate, so malaki ang opportunity. Pero syempre, okay, better kung CPA yan. Okay? O kaya CMA yan. Okay? So, in this webinar, okay, we'll discuss the following. So ito yung ating objectives. Okay, so at the end of the webinar, and hopefully nandiyan pa kayo at the end, okay, so you should be able to know, okay, number 1, yung salient provisions of IFRS 18. Of course, pagdating yan sa Pilipinas, ang tawag na natin, PFRS 18. So, pinapalitan natin yung I, ginagawa natin P. Yan. Okay, pero basically, the same lang yan. Okay, so except for the international ginawang Philippine. Okay, so IFRS 8 actually replaced yung old standard on presentation of FS, which is IAS 7. So we'll discuss yung changes made to IAS 7 and some of the changes made to IAS 7 on the statement of cash flows. And actually, some parts of IAS 1 transferred to IAS 8. So kaya damay din sa nagbago yung IAS 8. Okay, so kaya although this is IFRS 18, yan. So tingnan natin yung impact niyan on IAS 1, 7, and 8. And then yung other standard, okay, yung salient provisions of IFRS 19. Ito yung subsidiaries without public accountability. So yung disclosures, yan, yung reduced disclosure requirements. Okay, so of course in the Philippines, so let's start with IFRS 18. Yan. So the title of this standard, presentation and disclosure in financial statements. So meaning ang focus niyan, IFRS 18 yung structure ng financial statements at yung content. Pero yung when to recognize, how to measure, yung mga specific disclosures na yan, hindi mo makikita yan just sa IFRS 18. So, accounting standards. So, nandun yung when to specific disclosure requirements. So, itong IFRS 18, it's more on the structure. Ano ba, paano ba yung appearance content yan? Okay, and this is effective, okay, January 1, 2027. Although early application is allowed. Okay, pero mandatorily, wala nang choice, no choice na, kailangan nang i-apply ito. Effective January 1, 2027. Okay, so meaning kung mag-e-exam ka next year, hindi pa to applicable. Okay, so ang i-apply mo pa itong IAS 1. Okay, on presentation of financial statements. Kaya dapat clear sa'yo, teka, kailan ba ako mag-exam? Okay? So, 2026, okay, May or October next year, hindi pa to applicable, ha? So, applicable ito sa mag-e-exam starting 2027. Okay? And as I mentioned earlier, yung IAS 1, okay, replaced yan by IFRS 18. Okay? Pero hindi naman totally actually. Most of the provisions in IAS 1 transferred lang yan. Okay, carried over to IFRS 18, mainly unchanged. Okay, but of course, okay, there are also major changes. Pero yung most of the provisions actually ng IAS 1 remain unchanged. Yan. So meron lang mga minor changes. Okay, so yun ang i-discuss natin mamaya, yung major changes. And as I mentioned earlier, yung replacement ng IAS 1, portions of that hindi nilipat sa IFRS 18. Instead, transferred to this one. Okay, yung IAS 8. In particular, okay, yung general features ng FS. So, tatlong items doon ang tinransfer to IAS 8 instead of IFRS 18. So, in particular, yung fair presentation and compliance with IFRS or in the Philippines nga PFRS, yung going concern assumption, at yung accrual basis of accounting. Kaya yung iba nagtataka, bakit sa IFRS 18 wala nang binabanggit doon na compliance with hindi nawala yun guys ha. Nilipat lang sa ibang standard, hindi sa IFRS 18. Okay? So kaya nandyan pa rin yung tatlo na yan ha. Yung dating general features na nasa IAS 8, so instead of ilipat sa IFRS 18, dilipat dyan sa IAS 8. And because of that, pinalitan ng title. Ito yung dating title actually ng IAS 8. So accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and error. 2027, ito na yung title niya. Basis na siya. So basis of preparation of financial statements. Kasi nga yun nga, yung tatlong kay general features ng FS nilipat sa IAS 8. So kaya yung IAS 1, okay, yung replacement niya, so most of the provisions nilipat sa IFRS 18, okay? Tapos some of the provisions, yun nga, transferred to IAS 8. And as a consequence, nag-change yung title ng IAS 8. Okay? So kaya yung iba nagtatanong, Sir, wala na ba yung dating requirement ng IAS 1 na departure from IFRS? Meron pa rin nun. Ito, wala sa IFRS 18. Nandun yan sa IAS 8. Okay? Actually, hindi naman binago yun. Nilipat lang yung tatlo na yan. So, walang changes. Okay? So, ngayon, ang question, why replace? Bakit ba pinalitan yung IAS 1? Yan. So, three major reasons. Okay? Number one, in structure and